Hello, Larry K, ShadowAnyone.com. Today I'm going to talk about your responsibilities as an investigator for the information that you collect. And specifically, should you feel bad about the information that you bring back? The short answer is no, you should not. You're bringing back evidence. You're bringing back impartial material. You have not influenced the evidence that you're bringing back, the video. Now, there are sneaky, tricky ways that this can be done. I'll share a dirty trick with you here. Don't do this. It's not going to help you, but here's an example. If you're working a workers' comp case, some investigators think that it's kind of cute to put a big cinder block behind a person's car and sit back and videotape. When the person comes out to move their car, they realize this block's in the way. They lift the block to move it. The video is made by the investigator, this person lifting this cinder block and moving it. Completely unethical, maybe illegal, don't even think about it. My point is, the evidence you're bringing back will be impartial evidence. If the person in a normal course of events lifts a lawnmower up onto the back of a truck or makes a movement, and sometimes it's not much of a movement, by the time you get a workers' comp case, a lot of avenues have been pursued to resolve this, and the person is really claiming to be extremely messed up medically. So maybe they're saying that they can't even lift their hands above their shoulders. You get video of them scratching their head or combing their hair. That may very well be all that you need. So don't feel bad about the video you bring back. You're not influencing the video. Initially, when I started out, I would not take any criminal defense work. I was very opposed to it. I'm very, very good at what I do, and if there is some mitigating evidence to help this criminal out, I don't want to be a part of helping this guy out or gal. Very early on, I got approached by a rather large law firm who offered me all their work. Their previous investigator had had a heart attack. They needed a new investigator. They liked me, and they brought me in. And right over the phone, they said, "We have 2 cases for you right off the bat. And one of them is a criminal defendant who allegedly messed with a kid." And I said, "I'm not interested. Forget about it. Call somebody else." "Well, just come on in and take a look at the case. See what you think." All right, reasonable enough. I come in. I sit down across from the attorney. He hands me the indictment. I read through it. I look up at the attorney and I said, "He did it." And the attorney looked back at me with that look like, yeah, they all did it. But, this guy is still entitled to a fair trial. He's still entitled to a good defense. The whole system is based on this type of thing. But, I absolutely was not at all interested in, working this case, because I might find something that helps this guy out, and that's just not something I want to be doing. I turned down the case. I said, "I'll take this other case you got." It was fairly vanilla. And he says, "Well, we're looking for someone to do all the work for nothing." I said, "Well, then it's got to be nothing for me." And that law firm would have set me. I would have been set, no problem. And early on, especially, that would have been helpful to have. Now, later on, I did end up doing criminal defense work. And this happened because one of the attorneys I regularly worked for came a court-appointed case. He said to the judge, I need $1,000 or $1,100, something like that, for my investigator. And he hired me, and I just couldn't say no to this guy. I worked for him normally. I'll take the case. It was a very interesting case. I'll tell you about it sometime. But rapidly, what I began to discover was, if the guy did it, then you're only going to seal the coffin. What you bring back is just going to make the guy look worse. And that was a great relief to me. I did end up taking eventually a case. Several cases, many cases, but one in particular where someone had messed with a kid, and there was just no evidence. It was he said, she said type of thing. And I actually found, it never happens. It's never going to happen for you. But I found a witness. Unbelievable, impossible. Found a witness, and corroborated everything that the girl said. This guy, it never went to trial. The victim did not have to testify. It was great, and it was because of the work I did on behalf of the defendant. I was hired to investigate. I investigated and I found evidence. So the guy copped a plea and went to prison. So don't feel bad about what you bring back. I did not always work for the quote-unquote good guy in a case. And a lot of cases aren't cut and dried. Child custody cases, you're going to find mom's a crackhead, dad's an alcoholic, You may say, well, it's better to work for dad than for mom, but that kid needs help regardless. The good thing is when you bring forward evidence, especially video evidence, evidence from surveillances, that goes in front of the court, the judge sees it, and people who are in a position to really help that child, to get that kid the help that they need, are going to see the evidence in the video that you bring forward. And so I never had a problem then about doing my job or worrying that I was going to bring something damaging, because I'm just bringing the truth. If you'd like to learn more about how to do surveillance, if you have made peace with the fact that when you collect evidence and you gather the truth, this is going to be helpful. And now you want to do it, you want to learn about how to do surveillance or how to do surveillance better, check out the Investigator's Ultimate Guide to Surveillance, and you can learn more about that at shadowanyone.com. Thanks.